this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of The Great Escape, the 1963 war movie, escape movie, prison movie, awesome movie that I really enjoy. This movie takes me right back to my childhood, which I know a lot of people might be like, huh? But when I was a kid, my dad used to have a video cassette of it, a VHS, I believe, might have been even beta, who knows. And I used to always be like fascinated by it. It was the only movie in his collection that he had a small collection. The only movie in his collection that had 2 tapes, and I was always like, why is that movie got 2 tapes? And it was one of the only films that we never watched because it's a very long movie, and I was always very interested in it. And I remember one night my mom went away and my brother took my brothers with her, so it was just my dad and I asked my dad, I'm like, what is up with this movie? Why is it? And my dad didn't tell me anything about it. He just said, you know, son, it's a very good movie, and if you're willing to stay up late and you could watch a movie that is long, we can watch it now and you can let me know what you think. And my dad and I sat up all night watching it. It was probably the latest I'd stayed up, or very close to it, at any time in my life, and I just will always remember that experience. By the end of the film, I had my head on his shoulder. I think I was probably like 8 or 9 or 10 or somewhere in that area. My parents used to let me watch movies that may not have been appropriate. And I just will always remember that. And I think this movie is got a lot of nostalgia in my heart, but I also think that has nothing to do with the fact that I love it so much. Maybe not nothing, but it has little to do with it because I also think this movie is just awesome. I think it's very well made. There's a reason why it's considered an absolute classic, because it is just fantastic. For those of you who aren't aware of this film, basically it tells the story of the Great Escape, where there's this group of British and American soldiers were trying to escape from a POW camp in World War II, and they ended up pulling off the biggest escape from a POW camp of all time. And also you find out how things went from there, if things turn out good for the guys who got out, or vice versa. And it's just a very well told movie. But I think a lot of the strengths of this movie comes down to its cast, I should say, led by Steve McQueen. I mean, everybody who, when you think about this movie, always thinks about the shot of him on his motorcycle at the end. I think he does a great job in this movie. I will say, I don't necessarily love the way they handle his character. I think he plays the character as written magnificently. He does such a great job. You're very interested in him. You invest in him. The rebelliousness that he clearly has is something that, you know, you really enjoy seeing. You love seeing him kind of stick it to the man. It's all great, but really at the end of the day, his character has very little to do with the actual escape, and that's what this movie's about. So for him to be the lead character, the character that everybody really kind of goes to me is kind of meh. And I know that you could say that people bought into him, and that's why he's considered the main character, but I completely disagree. I think they really played him up to be that main character. I mean, all the big moments really are his. And, you know, I thought, like I said, I think he does a great job, but I wish they had given a character, like, they'd had him play a role of more importance. And then when you have characters that are of more importance, there's one of them that I think is kind of a little bit meh. And that's a character played by Richard Attenborough, who I think he does a great job with the character as written. He's basically an officer. He's the guy who, you know, brings everything together, and he's responsible for organizing everybody, and without his ability to really bring the masses together, this escape wouldn't have happened. And he's a very fascinating character because obviously he arguably is the most responsible for everything that happens, but he also is very kind of stoic and you could almost say bland. I wouldn't go that far, but there's a tediousness to some of his scenes, and he does a great job. He does have a few a little bit more passionate moments, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, you would need somebody of that temperament. Basically, you would need somebody of that kind of personality type. Apparently, I can't say that word at the moment, but temperament. You would need to play that kind of role, but it totally works for the movie. But I also don't find him to be the most compelling. But I will say, when I think of characters that I really care about, you have James Garner's character, who's essentially, he's the guy who is able to steal everything. He tricks the guards into giving him stuff. He scoops things from left and right, and he's very integral, because without his ability to scrounge things up, they wouldn't have been able to put everything together. Then you have a character played by Donald Pleasance, who's basically the forgery guy. He makes all their passports and all their paperwork and all that kind of stuff, and he's, to me, the character that I came to care about by far the most. He you find out very quickly that his eyesight is almost completely gone, and then but at the same time he's also able to do this forgery I should say, by looking really close, and I think that's really cool, and you feel protective of him by the end of this movie. And then you have another character played by Charles Bronson, who I only ever really knew from his later work, where he was the badass vigilante and that kind of thing, with like Death Warrant and all that kind of stuff. But I think he's great in this movie. I love the way his character is written. He's essentially the guy who goes down and does all the digging, but you find out pretty quickly that he's starting to feel claustrophobia because he's had so many of these tunnels that he's built kind of fall in on him. So his character is really interesting because he's the guy who spends all of his time in the hole, but he's the guy who's afraid of the hole. And I just really enjoyed that element. I mean, overall, I think this movie is just absolutely stupendous, just beautifully shot, fantastically acted, very good script. I really enjoyed this movie. So those are my thoughts on The Great Escape. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, if you're a fan, if you've seen it, if whatever. Other than that, please hit that like button, hit that share button. It makes it much more likely that other people will discover this video. Come and check it out and let me know what they think, which is something I absolutely love because I love talking to people about movies. And speaking of that, if you're new here, please hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. It'll let you know when I put out a new video. You can come and let me know what you think, and that would just absolutely mean the world to me. Other than that, have yourself a good day.